from the scene. We're also learning more today about the firefighters hearing a woman's voice in that rubble hours after the collapse.
That rescue effort, unfortunately, ending in tragedy. Let's turn it over to Local 10 News reporter Annalise Garcia with the details.
Christy, Janice, despite the fact that the work stopped, their objective remains the same, and it's to find these victims in the rubble and keep their first responders safe. Like you just said, we heard from a first responder. He says they got here, him and his team, the first few hours after the collapse. They found a woman who was banging on a piece of concrete. They hear her talking to them. Unfortunately, it ended in a tragedy.
Fortunately, during our initial search and rescue efforts, while we were working underneath the structure, the same structure that is significantly compromised right now, we did hear audible sounds, and they were searching for a female voice is what we heard for several hours, and eventually we didn't hear her voice anymore.
The first few hours after the collapse, rescue workers rushed onto the site after reports of a woman alive trapped near the garage. One first responder who was there, who asked not to be identified, told Local 10 she was asking for help and she was pleading to be taken out of there. We were continuously talking to her. Honey, we got you. We're going to get you. But this photo he shared shows what stood in their way. The fire chief confirming to us crews rushed in before anyone even knew if the building was safe. The first responder recalls, "The first thing I remember is thumping on the wall, and then I remember her just talking. I'm here. Get me out. Get me out." Crews never abandoned that effort, he says, but later learned the woman didn't make it.
Unfortunately, we didn't have success.
This task force member says days of search and rescue takes an emotional toll, from knowing a potential victim to seeing people's belongings among the rubble.
They have found kids' toys, they have found car seats and strollers.
After 8 days of search and rescue efforts, Mayor Daniela Levine Cava told us the number remains the same, 18 people found dead.
Until the stop of the search, our homicide and crime scene personnel have been on the scene. We have been recovering family members, and at times we've recovered as well human remains.
Now, that first responder we spoke with, he tells us they were so afraid that the building was going to have another collapse in that moment that he texted his kids. He said, "Love you guys always." As for that woman we were talking about, we still don't know her identity or what exactly caused her death, or if she's even still in the building. I'm live in Surfside. Annalise Garcia, Local 10 News.
Annalise, that is just heartbreaking to hear, and we are learning more.